Part 2 of Show 2, live in the remix with Brother Panic. And so joining us here, or joining me, I should say, on Blue's Couch is Brother Panic. Welcome back, Brother Panic.
Peace. What's going on, Miss Blue?
Oh, everything is going on. Just so much information that we covered. We were talking about Gnostic thoughts, and really, as you was breaking that down, really showing us kind of how our ancestors sort of reflected and how they seen things, and how the Gnostic were just later-day Egyptians, and really just giving that information and science for us, giving us another way of looking at things.
Right. And I'm really surprised how well received it was, because, you just never know today, from everyone that I interact with.
Right.
Like I said, what I've noticed, the in-your-face Gnostic thought was missing from the equation. Perhaps because, someone who studied on it, it's kind of hard to bring that to a community of people that is in a kind of a celebration mode. A lot of people are finding out their divine origin.
Right.
And as I talked about in the first show, what happens is people tend to celebrate it, and because it is great to find out that, these things. But the real occult understanding of it is that these things about you really exist beyond your human reality. These greater things, these Isis and segments, they do show up here on Earth,
right,
as above, so below. They do show up here, but this would be the worst aspect of how it shows up in any form of reality, at least known thus far. That's how the ancients see it. The worst part of segment is here. The worst part of Isis is here. When you talk about it kindly, I am Sekhmet, I am Isis, I am Osiris, I am Haru, I am Tahuti, what it is you're talking about the greater part of you, and your conscious path is to cultivate that.
Right.
So, and actually to go beyond this reality. Now, you said something interesting, because this information is not for everybody, and everybody are on their levels. So, we got to think, what I'm saying is really not that deep or radical. The everyday Christian who y'all walked away from and says don't know nothing, they even understand it's all about getting to heaven.
That's correct. Yes.
They understand it's about getting to heaven. They just think this heaven is provided by Jehovah, Yahweh, or whomever. This heaven is actually built by your mind, the conscious light you gain in the understanding of something that goes beyond this realm. Your earthly mind is actually the insanity of the universe. What you call your brain and your human reality is actually considered to be insane. You are becoming conscious to walk away from this insanity, this dream. So I also heard someone say, well, our ancestors didn't think like that. They knew everything was duality. Now, this is such an ignorant statement, because you don't even have to take the Gnostics here. In every occult study, you eventually come to the understanding that duality is actually your problem.
Right.
Duality is the problem. You have been separated. You have been separated in polarity, duality. That's your problem. Half of you is missing. That's why we have such a problem. And one half is feminine, one half is masculine. The yin and yang is an occult symbol. It's not just pretty. What it's talking about is these two forces coming together. The caduceus of those two kundalini snakes intertwined are talking about the energy coming back together, meeting at the seat of your soul, your pineal gland, becoming wings and going beyond. It's all over the place. The lotus flower, the pearl in the lotus is raising you up to something else. You get what I'm saying?
Yes.
Isis sits in the lotus. Remember, your brain is considered the 1,000-petal lotus because it's blooming into a flower that's not just smart here, because there's plenty of people, as you know, that can repeat all of this stuff and still don't know nothing, and they still just as ignorant as you here. It's talking about flowering in a place else, rooted in earth, to go to bloom elsewhere. So then people also ask, well, why would you come down here? There's many reasons, many occults. Believe you me, I've studied enough to say, I get it now. It's not even about finding one path.
Right.
There's about 1,000 theories. What you're here to do is find out what vibrates with you. I could tell you 1,000 theories, even 1,000 channels with just the definition of what white people mean. Some you'll cheerlead, some you'll go, really? To the point I said, oh, I get it. It doesn't matter. You're supposed to figure it out and get your own understanding because it's your path.
Right.
It's your path. So people are down here for many reasons. Some people fell into ignorance. Some people came down here to teach because when it teaches, it forces you to transform. Some people came to learn one lesson, and that lesson may be as the divine prophet, or that lesson may be as the $2 hope. Either way, it still manifests as less. So there's many reasons we down here to become conscious is to become aware of your evolution and stick to that. That's what know thyself means. As not only know thyself, not just as a human and what your particular likes and dislikes are, know what it is you are beyond this. You get what I'm saying? I mean, even a white man will tell you that there are more, not even planets, because they said there are more stars, and each star has planetary system. They said if you added all the grains of sand on Earth, it would still be more stars in this universe than all the grains of sand on Earth, and each of these stars has planetary systems. And you're going to, how dare you call yourself God and Goddess and then doom yourself or stick yourself or chain yourself to just one reality. You get what I'm saying? I mean, it's just feeble for me. You get what I'm saying? Right. Even as a human, that's feeble. You know what I mean? You know, we even get mad. You grew up in this project. You ain't never left the project. We get mad at that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So, you know, you ain't never left the project. You ain't never left the state. We think that's ignorant. So you ain't never left the planet? How ignorant are you? And I also heard, which I want to address, Brother Panic opens up the doorway, but he doesn't tell you where to go. Who in their right mind would want me to tell them what the fuck to do?
Right.
My name ain't Reverend Panic. My name is not Reverend Panic. It's not about telling you what to do. It's about showing you a pathway for you to get busy. Because what I see is people don't even know how to get on the path of study. Not the path I say is the way to go, to even arm yourself with the tools to do what you need to do, not what I need you to do. I should care less if you... There's a book. It's an old book. This one is probably out of print. I got it out of Strand. Diane something. It's an old Kemetic book, one of them books that's really, really big, hardcover. She says in it, it was foolish for people to think that the Egyptians or the Kamites were trying to come to an agreement. The order of the day was contradiction. Contradiction was the order of the day because they understood everyone was just trying to get to their own path. There are many routes to get there.
Right.
So I'm not here to say, well, Gnosticism is the way to go. But what I do see based upon social groups is that it seems this information is not being at least factored in. Most people know y'all the broth and they did that and they were in this valley, but kind of I did the quotes to put them all together to kind of say, well, listen to actually what they're saying, because most people try to study to repeat some shit. You get what I'm saying?
Right, yeah.
And it's really not to repeat. If you really come to understand it and have no agenda, but to learn for your own personal transformation, you'll find not only will you be able to repeat it, you'll be able to make it yours and tell somebody. You get what I'm saying? Make it yours. Your understanding will go up, because that's when the spirit gets with you, when you have no agenda.
Right.
So that's the key. So, again, I was kind of surprised because I'm not sure how this is going to be taken.
Yeah, I was just going to interject. Lots of feedback I got as well from brothers and sisters all around the world who really enjoyed the show and really appreciated this. A lot of people said this was exactly what they needed to hear. I can speak for me personally, doing some of the, studies on the Gnostic